All right, so thanks for coming out today. It's good to see everyone. I know most of you are heading over to the Breslin Center for Islands press conference later on this afternoon as well. I'll be there. As I said Friday night, I was very proud of our team's effort against Northwestern. Our players were very focused and they were ready to go in the game. Obviously, we have a lot of room for improvement, but it was a solid start for everyone in the program. Put a lot of hard work into that, getting us ready for that first game. I'm really looking forward to this Saturday, playing in front of our fans. They waited and we waited a very long time for this. We're extremely excited in anticipation of having a packed Spartan Stadium. The band, the cheerleaders, the dance team, Sparty, the student section, the alumni, former players, running out of the tunnel. That's a great thing about the green and white and being a Spartan, and in college football in general. It's going to be a great day to play football, and so we're just preparing for that opportunity. Until then, we've got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do this week. We've already started our preparation on Y-Town, YSU, and yesterday and today. But we need to keep up the intensity and the focus throughout this week in order to give ourselves the best chance to improve and put our best foot forward on Saturday at noon against Youngstown and Spartan Stadium. It's a home game for us, and we need to show up. So with that, I'll open it up if you have anything. If not, I'll be on my way.
Yeah. Big question. You can say name and affiliation to help out. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mel, coaches are always looking for things to coach. When you looked at all that film, what did you see?
How much time you got? No, in positive note, I thought we played very hard. I'll start with defensively. We need to improve our tackling. I think we missed 25 tackles, but it really didn't show up because of pursuit. We had a lot of upper body violence and population to the ball. One guy missed, there was another guy there to clean him up. But we need to be a higher percentage tackling team. We have some explosive passes that we need to eliminate. Even though we get them stopped, eventually it flips the field. And our offense, they get the ball on the 30-some yard line going the other way, and the score probability is not what it needs to be. Make them go the long, hard way. They did have a lot of max protection, which was good in their game plan to try to protect the quarterback. But I'd like to get more pressure with four guys and things like that. But I thought the guys played hard. I thought they knew what to do. We had we had too many mental errors for what we're doing. So those things we need to get cleaned up. They don't necessarily show up, to the naked eye, but it doesn't catch up to you till it catches up to you. So we're diligently working on that offensively. Obviously, we wanted to be able to run the ball and take care of the football. Ball security was a point of emphasis. The entire out of season. Going back to the defense, we need to take the ball away. We need to generate some takeaways, some balls, some strips. Disrupt the quarterback, some tips and overthrows. We got to get those. Going back to the offense, we did do that. We had some shots. We had some shots that we weren't able to connect on some deep balls. So we want to definitely be explosive in the passing game. We had a couple penalties, things that we need to clean up, and we left some plays. We left some plays out on the field, and then because of execution, some of what they did is well. They're well coached. They got some good players. And they play hard. From a special team standpoint, I thought we played hard. But if you really look at the drive start analysis for the game, it was pretty much, it was almost even. I think we were the -31 and they were at the -29 or something. I'm not exactly sure. So, that field position battle, we didn't really have momentum plays, a lot of momentum plays, as many as we could have had. But again, give Northwestern credit. They got some good players out there and they're playing hard. We did, down the ball inside the 10, really inside the 5, which helps us play complementary football because, you take care of the football even though you don't score. We want to end every series in a kick, preferably a extra point, but if not that, field goal attempt, and then if not, just punt. And so you punt down, get a pin back, and if we can get them stopped on defense, which we did, I think they got a first down, but I think the next 3 plays we were able to get out of there, make them punt. And now you got you playing the field position battle and that type of thing, and you're going to have to do that. Take care of the ball and play field position, and that's offense, defense, special teams, all working together, which was a huge emphasis for us during the week, was complementary football. So, there are a lot of things that need to be cleaned up. I believe that you should make your most improvement between game 1 and game 2. But behavior precedes success. So we actually have to do it. Putting the work in. So that's what these days are about. The preparation that we have. So.
Now that was what, them live?
Yeah, live.
After Friday's game, you said you weren't surprised by anything you saw out there and you knew what you guys are capable of doing, but is there a measure of confidence that you feel your team gained from going out there and actually doing it and having a successful start to the season?
Well, I think it just reinforces, I would like to think that it reinforces, our philosophy and our process in terms of, our infrastructure and our program, how we build things to give us a chance to have success, the culture of the program and, the discipline, attention to detail, culture of accountability, being unselfish, things like that. We played a lot of players. We played maybe like 20, 25 players on defense and maybe 24, 26 players on offense. We played a lot of players, so, being unselfish. I think it kind of reinforces, those things. That you do these things. There's a process. There's a process to put yourself in a position to have success in a game. Any game. And so, but are we more confident that we're going into the game? I don't know that. You have to ask the players about that. I think that you can, you're confident when you know what to do. You're confident, you can gain confidence from relentless preparation. And then, you can gain confidence from, having some success and then learning from it, or even, maybe making some mistakes and then learning from that. Understanding, hey, if I just do this or I just do that or I have better technique or whatever, then shoot, I can win that down. I can win that one-on-one. And we focus a lot during camp, and then last week about being consciously competent, understanding why you have success, understanding why are you able to win a one-on-one battle, why are you able to score, why are you able to get them stopped, why are you able to win the field position battle, why were you able to create a momentum play on special teams, things like that, why are you able to win the line of scrimmage. If you understand why you were able to do those things, then you can repeat it. And then you can actually teach it if you can understand it, and that's where the leadership comes in. And so I think we're more consciously competent because we put on the game from a year ago and said this is why we won the game a year ago. Now this is a new season. This is a new team. We have a new team, they have a new team. So, but this is, success leaves clues. This is what you have to do to win. This is why we want. We break it down in all the phases, whether it's rushing or pass defense or turnover margin, special teams, things like that. All the factors, red zone, offense, red zone, defense, we look at all the things, and when you win in those categories, you play complementary football, and you don't look at the scoreboard, and you just play each play and play the next play, and every play has a history and life of its own, and it doesn't matter if you're up 7, down 7, first quarter, fourth quarter, you're playing the game. If you do that and you do the things that you need to do to be successful, and have the discipline and the determination to do your job properly every play, then at the end of the game, you look at the scoreboard, you add up and see where you are. So we were able to do that yesterday. We had a team meeting, and we said, okay, well, this is why we won the game. And we go through those categories, okay, and then this is what we need to do to improve, and so, like I told the players, before the season, there's, our goal is to win every game on schedule. You would think you go into a game thinking that you have a chance to win wherever it is, but there's not a team on our schedule that they can't beat us either. So it's all about what we do.
Well, even if you don't outplay the other team, you can win a lot of games without turning the ball over. I know you said you worked on it, but how surprised were you that in game 1 you had 0 turnovers?
Well, we did have one.
Did you have one?
And they did get 7 points off of turnovers.
My bad.
For us. But yeah, for the most part, we were able to secure the ball. The ball was on the ground a couple of times, but we were already down. But we like to hand the ball to the official, leave no doubt, right? But turnover margin is huge. I wouldn't say that I was surprised that we were able to take care of the ball, because we have drills for that. We hold each other accountable to take care of the ball. We have signs all over the building, the ball. We talk about, a couple of days before the game, we did a ball security clinic in front of the team meeting, holding the ball. This is how you carry the ball, whether on offense or defense. Special teams, if you carry the ball, that's how you carry the ball, high and tight, chin it, just the basic things. So, we were able to do that. So I wasn't surprised. And even a year ago, that was really the tail of the tape. When you don't turn the ball over, you got a chance. When you turn it over, you're not even close. I wasn't surprised, but we did turn over one time, and that's something to talk about.
I thought there was 0, my bad.
Chris Solari, Detroit Free Press. You kind of alluded to last year there, and this is your first opportunity to have a year 2. And I wondered, I guess, first of all, how is that process maybe different in terms of trying to build off of the things that you taught last year versus having 2 year 1s in a row as a head coach? And is there more involved in building a program in year 2 maybe than year 1?
Well, you learn a lot, every single day. You learn something new about your team every day. So last season was a learning experience for us. Positive, negative, whatever. We were able to take a lot away from that, and then carry those things over into our out-of-season program, and then the fall camp, and then obviously looking to the game. We learn from some mistakes, and we learn from some successes as well. But we're a work in progress, and we're always going to be. We're always going to be a work in progress. There's always, you're never there. Like I've experienced that where you're never there. That's something that you really have to accept. Is that it just, as long as you're playing and as long as you're coaching, it never stops. There's always the next game, whether it's the next season or it's just the next game within the season. There's always the next, and it never stops. So you always have to, understand that it's just perpetual motion. How do we improve? How do we get better? How do we play to the standard? Behave to the standard, raise the bar. Set new expectations, higher standards. How do you do that relentlessly over and over and over and over again? I mean, you win a national championship, and 2 hours after the game, you're looking, pull out your briefcase and you're looking through your recruiting files, knowing that, it's time that, we gotta do it, we gotta get ready to do, we have to reload and go again. That's just what it is. And so, that's how I feel about it.
Matt, right here. Stephen Brooks, 24/7 Sports. Wanted to ask you about Jim Tressel, obviously the Youngstown State president right now. I'm just curious your relationship with him over the years since you no longer work for him, and what are sort of your big takeaways of coaching under him, and how those years specifically, you've had a lot of mentors, those years specifically, how did those form your coaching style and philosophies?
Yeah, so Coach Tressel is a mentor of mine. I spent 7 of my first 8 years in coaching. I was with Nick Saban and Jim Tressel. 3 of my first 4 I was with Nick, and then the next 4 I was with Coach Tressel, and he's a very special person, as a human being, and he taught me a lot about being a servant leader, as a coach, period. His philosophy was, at that time, we're here to serve, the university community, and then, all of the high school coaches and the alumni and everyone, we're here to do that, to serve, and so being a servant leader, having a servant heart was something that he preached, each and every day, he's a winner. He's a winner. I believe he won 4 national championships at Youngstown State, and he was actually the AD there as well. He was there 15 years, and then I remember him, I was in his first year at Ohio State, and the question was, well, yeah, he did it at Youngstown, but can you do it here at Ohio State? I mean, Ohio State's not Youngstown. Well, in the year 2 we went 14-0, and when I learned a lot from him, just about shifting the culture and just how you go about your business each and every day. And as a coach, what your responsibility is as a coach of young people. He never raised his voice. He rarely raised his voice. I mean, he's such a, he put so much into you as a coach, not just the players, but into you as a coach. You don't want to let him down. I mean, you be in the tank, after practice or after the game, if you felt like that, you didn't perform up to you didn't coach up to your ability, because he had put so much into us as coaches that you don't want to let him down. That's the type of guy he was, and he was hard, very hard-nosed. His dad won a national championship at Ball and Wallace, Division III. So, it was brother was a coach. Mike Tressel was my GA when I was there. Dick Tressel, his brother was a running backs coach my last couple of years there. So really close, really close with the family. I'm from the east side of Cleveland. Tressel's from the west side. We did a really good job recruiting Northeast Ohio while I was there, while we were there together. And he's a master coach. Offense, defense, special teams, recruiting. When he speaks, he gets in front of a podium. In Columbus they call him the senator. He's just that type of guy's a role model. Every year he would have us fill out goal sheets as coaches. Every year at the end of the season we would fill out goal sheets. It would be short-term goals, intermediate goals, long-term goals, personal and professional goals. We fill out the sheet. He'd call you in and you meet with him, 3, 4, 5 hours. As an assistant coach. So he really believed in coaching coaches and developing coaches. So I wouldn't, obviously Coach Saban had a huge impact on me. Coach Tressel, I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for him. That's for sure.
Sam Sklar with the State News right here. With Youngstown State, A, currently being in probation, and B, playing their most recent season in the spring instead of the fall, how, if at all, do you see either one of those aspects affecting the team you're going to see on Saturday or the game itself?
Yeah, not factoring that in. They're going to be prepared. You look at their coaching staff and you read, those bios. They got some darn good coaches there, and they have a history of winning. And they're going to play hard. They've got some good players, and they're going to be well coached, and they're going to be hungry. And they're going to come in with a chip on their shoulder. And so, I don't see that as a factor. Like from my standpoint, from what I can see from the outside, I'm expecting to see a good football team coming here on Saturday that's expecting to have success. That's what I expect them to be. That's what they're going to be. I'm from Cleveland, and I know Youngstown. I know why it's shooting, what that whole thing is all about, and it's about winning. And he's relentless in the way he prepares his guys and the way he coaches and teaches and everything about him. And it's, you can see that reflected now in terms of the way we're playing up front in terms of high level, finishing, technique, communication, the strain there, and just the physicality of that group. So that, and we played a lot of guys on the offensive line. So we go in there. We have Sept will be in there, and Buda will be in there. Carrick is a guard, and you see Luke Campbell, a left tackle. So we play guys, and that's what we practice, and we play guys, and so we have some depth there, and we had a lot to prove. We had a lot to prove, and we still have a lot to prove in terms of being able to run the ball, protect the quarterback, things like that. And really running the ball, we usually have a tight end in the game, and so part of a big part of that is how our tight ends block. And I think you could see that reflected in the game, and then also what our receivers are doing, downfield, blocking where they're, blocking support or blocking a linebacker or getting on the corner of the safety, and giving us the opportunity to have some explosives. That's all part of the run game, as well as the quarterback being able to get us in and out of, bad plays.
So was Campbell just part of the natural rotation?
Time for a couple more Audrey and Ralph.
Mel, Audrey Dahlgren, CBS Lansing. You mentioned Youngstown State coming in here expecting to win, but how jazzed up do you think they're really going to be walking into Spartan Stadium, especially coming off of an opponent like Incarnate Word to you guys here?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for them, I just know from experience, just knowing that program over the years, many years, and then just my experience of, maybe a smaller school, a non-Power 5 school, going into a Power 5 stadium. Usually guys have their hair on fire and they got a chip on their shoulder and they're ready to, they want to come in and break your heart is what they want to do. And so that's what I expect to see from them. It won't be any different than that, I can promise you.
Mel, kind of lost in MLive.com. Want to ask you about Alan being named athletic director. How involved was he in the search that brought you here, and what has your relationship with him been since then?
How involved was he? He was very involved, and I'm very excited for him. I work with him on a daily basis. I've seen the type of leadership that he has. He's been a Spartan, involved with the Spartans for 30 years or more, and he believes green and white. And he has a way of bringing people together, and he's a progressive thinker. What you see is what you get. You never have to read in between the lines with him, and that's something that I admire. He knows. He knows what it takes to be successful at this level, and so I'm just really encouraged and looking forward to many years of working with him, to help get this program where it needs to be and keep it there, and not just football, but our entire athletic department. I'm very encouraged, and I'm happy for him.
Last one, let's go.
Hey Mel, Jim Calborn, SpartanMag.com. You mentioned Luke Campbell earlier. It's been a while since he'd been on the field. Can you talk about what you saw from him when you first got here and the journey he had to get back on the field, and keeping him, I guess the decision for him to stay in the program when maybe he wasn't sure what was going to be in his future not long ago, and getting on the field, which surprised some of us, his journey.
Obviously he's had a tough road, and he's got outstanding mental and physical toughness, and he loves football. He lives football. It's very important to him, and he's a good player, and so he wants to be on the team. He wants to be a Spartan. He wants to be out there, and he competes like crazy in practice, and he's one of our best leaders. Actually, he doesn't say a lot, but when he speaks up, you see guys straighten up. So he's got the respect of his teammates. Obviously by the way he practices and the way he prepares, but I would like to think some of that has something to do with his journey and his persistence and his ability to persevere, and be resilient. And resiliency is something that everybody's talking about nowadays. And so he epitomizes what it means to be a resilient Spartan.